Right now, at this very moment, a mountain in Jerusalem is splitting apart. Not metaphorically. Literally cracking open. And this isn't just any mountain. This is the exact location where ancient prophecy said the Messiah would return, where his feet would touch the earth one final time. Geologists are measuring the fractures. Scientists are documenting the shifts. And believers worldwide are asking, is this it? What you're about to discover will change everything. There's a ridge just east of Jerusalem that has been ground zero for some of the most earth-shattering moments in history. The Mount of Olives. And something is happening there that nobody can ignore. Before we continue, please subscribe, hit the notification bell, and like this video if you want to spread God's truth. Let's continue. The Mount of Olives sits directly across from the Temple Mount, separated by the Kidron Valley. From its peak, you can see all of Jerusalem's old city. This mountain appears everywhere in Scripture. King David escaped here when his own son betrayed him. The prophet Ezekiel saw God's glory move from the temple to rest on this mountain. But most importantly, this mountain belongs to Jesus. Jesus spent more time here than almost anywhere else in Jerusalem. He stood on these slopes and wept over the city, saying, "If only you knew what would bring you peace." He gathered his disciples here and delivered one of the most detailed prophecies about the end times, the Olivet Discourse in Matthew 24. And after his resurrection, he brought them back to this mountain. While they watched in shock, he rose into the sky until clouds hid him. Two angels appeared and said something that echoes through history. This same Jesus will come back in exactly the same way you saw him leave. Same Jesus. Same mountain. Same dramatic return. Here's where it gets intense. There's a prophecy in Zechariah, written 2,500 years ago, describing what happens when the Messiah returns. On that day, his feet will stand on the Mount of Olives, east of Jerusalem. And the Mount of Olives will be split in two from east to west, forming a great valley. Read that again. The mountain will split completely in half. For centuries, people wondered, how could that possibly happen? Today, we might be watching the answer unfold. Look across the Kidron Valley. There's a gate built into Jerusalem's eastern wall, the Golden Gate. It's completely sealed shut with massive stones. Back in the 1500s, the Ottoman Turks deliberately blocked this gate to prevent the Jewish Messiah from entering, because prophecy said he would come through the eastern gate. Bold move, trying to outsmart God. But other prophecies hint this gate won't stay sealed forever. When the Messiah arrives, this gate will open. And which direction does it face? Straight toward the Mount of Olives. Connect the dots. Jesus ascends from the Mount of Olives. Angels say he'll return the same way. A sealed gate faces that mountain. Prophecy says the Messiah will enter through the eastern gate. Everything is aligned. Here's what most people don't know. Geologists have documented a major fault line running through this entire area, starting at the Mount of Olives, cutting through the Kidron Valley, passing under the Temple Mount, and running right beneath the sealed Golden Gate. This is geological fact. And recently, reports show that cracks are forming. Not just on the Mount of Olives, but in the walls near the Golden Gate. The earth is shifting. The mountain is moving. Section 6. What's happening now? 425. Let's be clear about what we know. Geologists have documented physical changes on the Mount of Olives over recent years. Visible cracks have appeared. Sections are shifting. Small landslides have occurred. Some can be explained naturally: erosion, water movement, seismic activity. Jerusalem sits on a major fault line. But here's what makes believers pay attention: the direction of these cracks. East to west. The exact direction Zechariah said the mountain would split. Plus, there have been measurable earthquakes in the region. Throughout the Bible, earthquakes mark moments when God intervenes. When God gave Moses the 10 Commandments, Mount Sinai shook violently. When Jesus died on the cross, the earth trembled and rocks split. When he rose 3 days later, Another earthquake shook the tomb. Could these smaller tremors be the earth positioning itself for the greatest earthquake in history? The one that will split the Mount of Olives and announce the return of the King? Even setting aside prophecy, there's a powerful message here. The ground beneath our feet, something we assume is solid, is cracking apart. Look at the world around us. Things that seemed stable are crumbling. Truth is questioned. Morality is redefined. Peace is slipping away. The cracks in the Mount of Olives are a physical picture of spiritual reality. This world is not as solid as we think. Only God's kingdom cannot be shaken. When you see the mountain in prophecy beginning to crack, it should wake you up. Jesus said, "Keep watching, because you don't know what day your Lord will come." Nobody can set a date. But we can say this: every sign, every tremor, every crack is a reminder that the stage is being set. History is moving toward something. Time is running out. For centuries, people wondered how a mountain could literally split in half. Today, as geologists measure expanding cracks and document fault lines, it doesn't seem impossible at all. What previous generations read as symbolic poetry, we might witness with our own eyes. These cracks aren't meant to terrify you. They're meant to wake you up. Jesus said, "When you see these things beginning to happen, stand up and lift your heads, because your redemption is drawing near." Don't respond with fear. Respond with faith. The Mount of Olives isn't just geology. It's destiny. It's a mountain of prophecy, prayer, and history, where Jesus wept, taught, and ascended. And it's where the Messiah's feet will touch down again. Right now, that mountain is groaning. Cracks are spreading. Creation itself is waiting for the moment when the Son of God is revealed. Whether these cracks are natural or prophetic, they matter. Because one day, sooner than we think, the Mount of Olives will split wide open. The sealed golden gate will burst open. And the King of Glory will walk through that gate into Jerusalem and reign forever. The mountain is cracking. The gate is sealed. The prophecies are aligning. Are you ready? If this opened your eyes, do 3 things right now. Subscribe and hit the notification bell. We're covering prophecy and current events you can't miss. Drop a comment. Do you think these cracks are prophetic? Let's talk. Share this video with someone who needs to see it. The stage is set. The clock is ticking. The King is coming. Thanks for watching. Keep watching, keep believing, and keep your eyes on the sky.